and there's no target. Still no sign of a target.
Why spend the money if you can't use it for anything?
I was looking for it.
Did you ask somebody? Do you have a ton
I'm just looking, like, where would you hide something like that? Come out of the ground.
Hello, everybody. John here with you. It's September 5th, 2024. It's certainly been a while, but it's good to be back here with you. It's the Detroit Tigers. They're 70-70. They're sitting at 500. They lost the first couple games in this series, really in back-breaking fashion, and they need to be able to salvage something here because really, right now, they're standing at about 5 games back on the wild card. They had a chance. The Twins have been losing. The Royals have been losing. But this is a very tough series for Detroit. They need to try to find a way to get this one. The reason I'm here with you on the eve of the beginning of football night, and again, that Yinzer Alec Nava has that one on his stream. If you want to follow along in between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens, by all means, I encourage you to do so. But the reason why I'm checking this out today is because of Casey Mize on the mound. Again, it's his second start back in from the DL, and I want to see what he's going to do today against Martin Perez, former Texas Ranger. That's a pitcher that I'm familiar with on both sides. It's a lineup for the San Diego Padres that are sitting at 80-61. They're absolute monsters. I know that they're top of the NL right now as far as the wild card side of it. Arizona is right there. Martin is starting to dig his cleats in the dirt and get set up on the mound. An ERA of 4.71 for Martin, though, and 20 home runs given up. Let me make sure I have this in my notes because I just updated it here on this side. For Perez, 20 home runs given up with a 4.71 and a 1.45 whip. So that means you should be able to get jumped upon a little bit today for Detroit and try to salvage something. That's what they're hoping, at least, because in the first game a couple days ago, they were just not able to get any run scoring, and then they took a 5-0 lead until they lost 6-5 in extra innings. So it was a very difficult one for Detroit. For San Diego, the business keeps on booming, and I think that this team, honestly, from the couple of games we watched already in this series, I think that they're going to be very dangerous when it comes toward the wild card or anything else in a playoff push. They could probably win a couple series. And really, the only guy that's sitting on the bench, essentially because of injury, is Ha-Seong Kim. Mason McCoy is the shortstop of record, but everybody else is healthy. They have Robert Suarez in the back end bullpen who looks good. They got Tanner Scott from Miami, who has been absolutely just dissecting everybody in the bullpen when you get to the 7th and 8th inning. So there's a lot to like for the Padres. New manager Mike Schilt, he was the one that took over as well to be able to try to get them to where they need to go to, because there were a couple games over 500 last year, but they didn't make the postseason. They didn't get what they wanted. I think they're going to be able to do just fine now. So for Detroit, if they can find a way to salvage this one today, the only other, I would say, series of record that's probably not going to be in their favor is the 6 against Baltimore, because not shortly after this, they have a matchup in a 3-game series, I believe, against the Royals. Again, they are half game back from the Mariners at 71-70. They would own the tiebreaker. They'd be 5 back. Royals, Twins, Yankees in the mix of that wild card. And that third spot, 5 games to get to, doesn't seem impossible when you got the Royals in an upcoming series not too far from now. So first pitch, John out here with you. I'm able to take this one all the way home and then give you the coverage on Hopeless Sports Guy per usual. You can listen to Jason Mendy, Dan Petrie local, or Dan Dickerson, maybe Andy Dirks, maybe Bobby Scales, depending on what they got on the roadside. And Martin Perez will deliver a sinker at 90. And we're underway for a strike on the left side of the box. So for Perez, it's primarily sinker cutter, but he will mix in a changeup and toss a curve and four seam. Four seam is very sparse. This is tapped right out in front of the plate, and Perez makes a nice play that will toss that one over to Jake Cronenworth, the St. Clair Shores, Michigan native. And 1 up, 1 down here. And the Tigers on the top of the first, and that'll bring up Indy Ibanez. So this lineup's going to look a little bit different. And again, I'll have to refresh my browser stuff here on ESPN because they love to have pop-ups for whatever reason. So we will do just that. Andy Ibanez is going to be second in the order. 257, 5 home runs, 30 RBI in the mix of it. And again, it was lefty stacked yesterday in the sense of what they had, and now we have righties. There's a bunch of lefties on the bench for Detroit today. Jace Young, Zach McKinstry, Trey Sweeney, Dylan Dingler is the only righty with the backup catchers. Jake Rogers moves up into the order. And this will be sliced down the right field line about, make it 0-2. So good stuff from our team right now. As we take a look here at Petco Park in beautiful San Diego, California. John there with you on the call. Thank you for being here with me again. That Yinzer Alec is my hockey partner alongside Cooper Hopkins. He has coverage of Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens. If you want to join them, that's going to be getting underway, I think, just momentarily. 0-2 pitch. That's a very good-looking changeup, but Ibanez will spin on it just low below the belly. Make it 1-2. So Ibanez will dig in, and for Andy, 80 games played on the season right now, about a 257 average. He can ambush you with some home runs, only got 5. This one will be sliced down the right field line off the plate. Tatis will have to play this one off the roll. Ibanez takes a big turn, but he'll settle for a single. I know we've seen this for a couple of seasons now, but I'd be behest if I didn't mention this. For Fernando Tatis to make that transition from short to right, I think it's probably apropos because of the ton of speed, correct? But the gun of an arm that he has of a shortstop to be in the outfield to have that kind of speed, a very dangerous weapon. When they do get Ha-Seong Kim back, I mean, this is a complete team as you could ask for. You can ask the Diamondbacks as well. I mean, that's going to be excellent, especially if they match up in that sense. 91 way out of the play for Riley Greene. It's third in the order. The left fielder, left-handed bat, league leading, or team leading, I should say, 20 home runs in 115 games for the Tigres. He waits on the 1-0. His pitch clock down to 5, and 90 is going to split the plate on a sinker. I'm not sure what Riley was looking at there. Makes it 1-1. The seat's probably about, let's say, roughly 40% full here. 3-hour time difference, about a 5:46 California right now compared to the Eastern start from where I am locally, because this is just high on a sinker. And we'll take Elias Diaz out of the crouch. We'll toss back over 2-1. We're showing Suarez, Morion, and a couple other guys there on the Bull Padres side of it. Very excellent numbers there for the Padres in the back end, especially 7, 8, 9. And this is 88. Good look for a cutter there, but this one is just outside low. Make it 3-1 for Riley Greene. He does have the hitter's count advantage. We'll see if Perez wants to even mess around here because Justyn-Henry Malloy is the cleanup hitter. He's got good numbers against the righty side of it. This one is outside enough, and Riley Greene's going to take his walk, and that'll bring up Henry Malloy. In the cleanup spot, Jake Rogers is 5th, so they moved him up quite a bit. He had the day off yesterday with Dylan Dingler, who was in the 9th spot, rookie catcher out of the Ohio State. 91st percent walk rate for Riley Greene in the sense of it, so he's got a very good eye. That's what the belly bar tells you on that side. He's only going to find pitches to swing at. That's what he likes, and that's what you want to see. Good selective look there for Greene, especially provide the power. And pretty good defensive fielder as well. So Henry Malloy, 214, big cut at a changeup, doesn't find it. Make it 0-1. So 214, about 8 bombs, 20 RBI, 18 walks, 58 strikeouts for the 24-year-old. It's his 49th game in the major leagues. So still a very young bat trying to get everything going. Did a changeup very low, make it 1-1. That doesn't even threaten the strike zone, as Perez is 14 pitches into his day. We'll try one more time here to pull up this ESPN box. I'll pull up the box score side of it so I don't get the live play-by-play on top of that ahead of me. As this one, 91, will go right inside on the arms. We'll have to do it again. So sinker, cutter, changeup, curve, four seam. As I told you, that four seam is only about 5% thrown. It's cutter, changeup, sinker primarily. That counts about 85% of the arsenal. Will be an occasional curve, but very occasional fast. As it's 3-1, it keeps trying to bust Malloy inside, but none of these pitches are particularly close. Jake Rogers does have some power, although his numbers are down from the last couple of seasons. He's waiting on deck 3-1. I think Malloy is going to have to take an obligatory take. That's just my call. He will take a cut on a sinker. This one is just below the belt, and it's 3-2. So he was looking back on the side of it, and Diaz, before he delivered that pitch, make sure you keep this down. You don't want to throw this anywhere near the strike zone. Full count pitch. Tigers have runners at first and second, and he will get rung up on a changeup. That one was too close to take, and that's just one of those things for me for A.J. Hinch. I'll just say this out loud. For Justyn-Henry Malloy, he might be good on the one side of the handedness. I still think it's a very young bat, and it's really hard to, and I know Zach McKinstry is not tearing the world on fire at 227. I think you got to have a little bit more of a vintage bat as far as a veteran there, considering where the Tigers are right now. They're only 5 games out of it. I think you got to get somebody there in the middle order, especially. You can't put Malloy fourth. I don't think that's the right call. Punches out there, 0-1 on Jake Rogers. Takes a curveball, a little bit low. This one on a changeup, just outside, 1-1. So Perez on some of these has gotten close enough to the strike zone, but there has been a few of these off-speed pitches as he goes to 20 pitches into his day that have not been particularly close when he wants to jam inside. Tigers haven't offered at it yet. This one is a off-speed pitch right down the middle, no problem. McCoy toss over to Cronenworth. Tigers are turned away. They have runners at first and second. Casey Mize is coming up. Thank you, Swepta, for listening in on the YouTube side of it. Again, I will bring this one in totality here for you. We'll give you scoring updates as we get a little bit longer and across this game. I'll just make sure that I get a couple notes typed in as far as the first. So this is the thing I'll be looking forward to as we're on the commercial break here. Casey Mize, it's his second appearance of the season, really since coming from the injury. He's had several, and the sensitive for his numbers, I'll pull those up here for you real quickly. 2-6, 4.25 ERA, 127 WHIP, 22 walks, 62 strikeouts. So the record's not where you want. The ERA may be a little bit high, but still a guy that's young enough that I think can be in this rotation. You mix him in between Spencer Torkelson over the last couple of years. Mize was the third pick. Torkelson was number 1. I know it's the Avila special. I get it. But I think Mize, you don't want to throw him away as quickly as some of these fans want to. I still think he's deserving of a couple more years and a little bit more of a look. Because, again, you still got to get to your MLB tenure. What, about 5 seasons before you actually start getting paid in the pocketbooks? So I think Casey Mize is going to get plenty of opportunity, and the arm is young enough. If Chris Fetter and company can actually fix this thing well, I think it can be, let's just lowball it here, 4 or 5 mainstay in the rotation. I mean, that's what Matthew Boyd was. I think Casey Mize can be more than serviceable. So 4-seam fastball, this was at 91, split the plate against Luis Arraez, 311 batting average. There's not much you can say about Luis Arraez that has never already been said. He is the Tony Gwynn incarnate. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody that's a Tony Gwynn fan, because the statue is outside for good reason. Hall of Famer, one of the best people in the world, good humanitarian and all that. But Luis Arraez is the singles hitter extraordinaire. Tony Gwynn was a singles hitter extraordinaire. Puts bat on ball, had tremendous speed. Now, Arraez doesn't have all those tools. But let's talk about it. 21 walks. Just 26 strikeouts for Arraez. Gwynn had seasons in where he only struck out less than 30 times. And Arraez only has 26. The 27-year-old. I can't think of a better comparison there as far as hitting. I can't believe he's already been traded, 3 times? In the mix of Miami and Minnesota and now the Padres. I don't think he's going anywhere. This one slapped right toward the right field side. And Riley Greene's going to have to pick it up off the hop. And Luis Arraez does it yet again. Does not matter, folks. If he gets down to 0-2, he took the first 2 pitches, fastball, curveball for strikes. and then took the next 3, and then served that one left field. Riley Greene had to play it. He just does it all the time. And I'd be very surprised when he doesn't get a hit or make contact. And now it's Fernando Tatis Jr. in the second spot, followed by Jurickson Profar and Manny Machado. Huge cut for Tatis. Make it 0-1. This lineup does not have any breaks in it for Mike Schultz's squad. So it's very important that Casey Mize goes out, throws strikes, but does not get predictable where he places everything in the strike zone. This one is a ground ball. Right to second. Tatis runs very well. No problem off the turn for the Tigers, and they get the double play. Ryan Kreidler and Colt Keith team up to get Tatis, and that's true. Turned away. Good work there. Soft toss over there from Colt Keith. Right to Kreidler. Right over to Torkelson. No problem. And that was tailor-made, although we do say Tatis again. It said he's got elite speed, and that was pretty good there for Detroit. So they'll take that, but they definitely got to deal with Jurickson Profar. Breakout season. Can't say young man anymore because he's 31, but come on, I'm 37. So young man in the sense of did 280, 21 home runs, 81 RBI. My numbers might be off by a day because I got these ones on the off day side of it. But Jurickson Profar, excellent player across the board. And you break out like that, he's kind of someone that plays everywhere, although he's slid in left field lately. But he's very versatile. Huge cut on a 4-seam. So Mize opened his 4-seam at 91. He kind of soft tossed it into this last one. Profar, making 1 and 2, was 96. That's where he kind of tops out at. Mize, 87 on a slider. Jake Rogers will catch that one way outside the plate and make it 2 and 2. When we get back into the notes again, probably on the bottom of the second, I'll give you some more notes on Mize. We'll see what happens if he can get through Profar here. If not, then I will jump into that. With nobody on the bases here, the splitter goes way outside. It goes off Jake Rogers' glove and goes all the way down. If they didn't pull the double play there, Padres probably already score a run. Full count. This is slammed. Right field gone. Jurickson Profar. Absolute detonation. He got a cookie middle on a fastball, and he did not miss it. How big was that double play for Detroit? They could have been down 3-0 already. They're already down 1-0. Jurickson Profar made Casey Mize pay for that dearly. That was poor location, and that was blistered on right field line and gone. So let's get into it now that we look at this swing from Jurickson 96 up and not up and off. That's pretty much middle up in the happy zone for somebody like Profar. That's just a very poor pitch for Casey. So when you look at it for Casey Mize, the ERA is going to balloon now, but a 4-seam slider, splitter, sinker, curve. It's a good arsenal. Tops out at 96, off speed about 85, 80 on a curveball. That's his lowest point. The off speed in the mix, let's just say between the slider and splitter, about 85. So there's a good amount of differential, but for Mize, it's about location. And like we said, in this lineup that you have with Manny Machado now batting fourth, you're going to lose if you cannot locate pitches and you cannot stay ahead in counts. It's that simple. Tigers are going to get swept. This one jammed in on the hands. Kreidler. Soft toss over to Torkelson. Jurickson Profar gets a solo shot. No more. Thanks to the double play. Padres lead 1-0 after 1.
Everyone knows about our Heartbeat Guarantee. Everyone knows the Bernstein Advantage. Everyone knows it's always a free consultation. And that's why everyone knows 1-800-CALL-SAM is the best call you'll ever make after an accident.
It's so much great entertainment out there. Isn't it easier if you can find what you want all in one place?
Okay, so Jurickson Profar gives the San Diego Padres a 1-0 lead as we get set to go into the second in a moment. I will just update this for anyone listening on the YouTube side. I have John Reinhardt, same as the Twitter X handle. I appreciate you guys. I'll throw that in there. Nordic says Padres are doing great. Again, I changed the name a few times, but yeah, doing well on that side, my friend. I appreciate it. Again, it would have been 3-0 if not from Tatis, but it is 1-0 Jurickson Profar there. And they have the lead. I wanted to throw this question out there. I said, are the Padres a legit playoff threat? That's my question there for you on the YouTube. So I know it's a softball tosser there, but 2 votes, both say yes. I happen to think that this team is going to do a lot more damage. I know when you get into the wild card series, you get the one game or the best of 3 and the mix of it as it is now. And when you have that situation, things can be difficult. But you got Joe Musgrove on the mound. Pretty much threw a one-hitter the other day against Detroit through 7 innings. He's pretty good. You had Yu Darvish in there as well. Yeah, you got a little bit excited there, but it would have been 3-0. I definitely agree with you there. So Torkelson will take a heavy cut. Martin Perez. And now he's behind it 0-2 as we get settled here in the top of the second. Looking at the hometown team for a moment, because this is a very big series. I know it's on the eve of starting football. If you do want to watch and listen in alongside Alec Nava, that answer Alec, he does have the coverage for Ravens and Chiefs. And Torque is going to get rung up on a beautiful changeup on the outside black. Perez, again, it's close enough. It's right there. It's a strike. You got to swing at it. So OPS versus lefties since July 1st, Colt Keith 921. It's beating up Parker Meadows and Riley Greene at 846 and 813 respectively. Don't tell that to Jackson Merrill. That's like one of the only sides he doesn't hit. When we see him on the seventh side of it today, he is going to win Rookie of the Year. Colt Keith, not too bad. Laces a single past the second base side of it as he sends it right back up the middle essentially on a changeup. I caught too much of the plate. Tigers get another single. They got 2 singles and a walk. Ryan Kreidler will be up next. So another comment here, excuse me, can't even speak. Padres, I think they're a divisional caliber team. Yes, they are. They play one of the most difficult divisions in all of baseball in the west side of it. And if it wasn't for Arizona and teams like that, they'd already be way ahead. You got to deal with the Dodgers and all that too. So very competitive, very good team. Although Arizona did drop one, as Patrick Bailey got a walk-off RBI double. Giants took that one 3-2. And Cincinnati got a 1-0 win against Houston today. Kreidler is frozen on a changeup. He did 1-1. They tossed over just to make sure Keith wasn't going anywhere, but he doesn't have that kind of speed unless you get real careless. I would have to throw it out that way to you. 1-1. And a sinker. That is right where it needs to be for Kreidler to swing at it, but he takes it for a strike. So Casey Mize, his line right now, 1 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. Martin Perez, 1 in the third, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. Trying to finish off Kreidler here. And he will spit on a changeup. Swallow the count, 2-2. Again, Jason Benetti and Dan Petrie have the side of it for Bally Sports Detroit. That's my local feed today. That's my only option when you're going ahead and looking at the close team. But between Jason Benetti and Dan Nickerson, again, if you ever follow their podcast and the Detroit sports side of it, that's a can't miss. They're pretty good, and they got some good guests on there as well. 2-2. Kreidler. This is going to be slammed right to Machado, and this one's turned nicely from third to second to first, all the way around the horn. Tigers sitting there with it. Ending double play as the double play kills it, and that was beautifully turned. Padres lead to go bottom 2. So after a single, no more, Torque punches out, and then Kreidler hits into an inning-ending double play. And we'll leave it up to San Diego on the bottom of the second. We come back from the commercial break. When we get toward the fifth, sixth, I'll kind of give you an update as far as future schedule. I know that the NFL season is underway, so I will have to do the picks against the spread on the Saturday side. I'll take the Friday to look at it, but I'll let you know kind of what I'm looking at. I would say I'm more of a contrarian as far as NFL, NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball is more of my forte, so take that with a grain of salt. I can be, for the season, in the mix of Sunday and Monday games, with the exception of Thanksgiving, to cover them all. I can be above 500. I've been above 500 over the last several seasons. I did not start well in the first half, finished off very strong in the second. That's about where I am, probably 4 or 5 games above 500. Plenty of teams and plenty of people are above me as far as picking against the spread. So if you take my picks that I throw out there, do so with a grain of salt. It's really just for fun. Got about a league of 75 people I've been in there with for my stepdad's work. About 55 to enter. Nothing too crazy. So base hit to right as we lead it right off for Jake Cronenworth. And the St. Clair Shores native is going to greet Casey Mize with a double. I want to see what that pitch was as we jump back in. 27th double of the season, the former NL All-Star. Was this a sinker or was this just a straight fastball? This is a fastball that got way too much of the plate. Casey Mize has been throwing some pitches that have caught too much of that strike zone. And with professional hitters that you have on the San Diego Padres, and I say that in terms of having a bunch of all-stars that can do a ton of damage, you make those pitchers, you're going to definitely pay for it. So Xander Bogaerts, former Red Sox, will dig in. 87-mile-an-hour slider. That was pretty just low middle there as it's 0-1. 263, 7 home runs, 32 RBI. The power is not there as much anymore for Xander, but I think the eye, and I spoke too soon. This one I thought might go off the wall, but Casey Mize gives him a wall scraper to the left field side of it, make it 3-0. He hung a curveball, and it went right where it was supposed to, 353. Those walls, I think maybe if we're just doing the math, and again, I'm a journalism major, about 345. So he just got that one out of there, but mistake in location. We've said that a bunch of times. Slider up right into the bat path toward the right-hander. So the right-hander throws it right in the hands at the top of the bat path, and that was just a cookie toss, really, for Xander Bogaerts. 3-0. So again, I think I'm going to be up in the mix of a long day. I've never done football play-by-play, but who the hell knows? You might have to go to it in the sense if this is like a 15-0 game or something like that, I won't bore all of you. But I wanted to get my sprints in. And Jackson Merrill, big swing. This one toward the wall, and this one will be caught by Vierling right on top of the warning track just before the wall. Boy, oh boy. And now in the mix of it, I have to decline the call, but I have to call my grandma back once this one's done because I'm sure she's already very angry. So, yeah, she's a diehard Tigers fan. And I can't say I'm diehard, although from Michigan, from the state of Michigan, from Detroit, around there where I was grown and raised and all that. But, man, oh, man, Tigers have been bad for a long time. You want to see something good for Casey Mize in the sense of it. Not very good right now. And again, he's just digging his own grave here early. So Luis Diaz, he's mixed in between Colorado and San Diego. 0-1. This one is middle on a fastball, and that one will be sprayed late down the right field line and foul. 0-2. So Casey Mize, we'll tell you this early, has thrown a lot of strikes, but you got to be able to find better locations in the zone. A lot of these misses are middle up, and those are just too easy to hit. 0-2. Mize gets the sign from Rogers, set up outside. I think that was pretty obvious for Diaz if he glances over. Make it 1-2. 269 average for Diaz. Bench platoon, 17 walks, 64 strikeouts. This was right at the third baseman, Andy Ibanez. That was scissored toward the left field side off a line drive at 109 miles an hour. And that's right in the webbing of the catching glove. He snow combed that thing, and he had to make a pretty good catch there. So sounds like you do fantasy stuff. One of my friends does the same thing. Dodgers in the playoffs usually choke. Let's see if they will break that spell. You know what? I think that there is enough talent there alongside for the Dodgers that they're not going to be able to stay where they need to and do some damage. And that's the same thing with my grandma with OU. I like that on that side, Nordic. Again, you got some diehard fans in the sense of certain teams, college, anything else, pro, all of that. You don't mess with her when it comes to the Tigers. You say anything bad, she will pretty much give me a big pinch on that side. So it's going to be good news. 95 miles an hour. McCoy. Jackson McCoy now behind 1-2. Kind of wonder where this offense is going to come from Detroit. Already down 3. This at 94 followed straight back. So Jackson McCoy, 250 average. Again, they have the mix at the shortstop side, as I said. They're waiting for Ha-Seong Kim, but a mix of a couple catchers that they can use in Kyle Higashioka, former Yankee, and Luis Campusano. So they carry 3 catchers. That is not often that you carry that many, but a couple of guys can platoon on the left and right side and hit very well for San Diego should they need it. 2-2 pitch. Mize. This one off the plate. Cole Keith throws it over to Torkelson. He had to reach for that one, step on the bag. He does get the out, but two more runs, courtesy of a home run for Xander Bogaerts. 3-0 Pods.
As a professional athlete, my physical and mental strength is challenged many times. So my biggest challenge throughout the baseball when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, studies show that exercising 2.5 hours per week can help manage Parkinson's symptoms and slow the progression of the disease. Because when fighting Parkinson's, movement matters. To donate, visit ParkinsonFoundation.org.
Throw this in there for anyone that does join late. Looks like it could be a long night for me. Cronenworth double followed by just a poor pitch and a hung slide in the bat path. It's 3-0 San Diego. Bogaerts.
Get ready for an exciting weekend of baseball at Comerica Park, September 13th through the 15th. It's the Tigers and the Orioles. Plus, enjoy our Fiesta Tigres celebration all weekend long. For tickets, go to tigers.com.
So normally, the little secret for me, again, this is a little maybe extra information here, but sometimes when I'm covering games, I kind of stay away from stadiums that are in domes, depending on where the weather is, because I don't want to stick with any rain delays. Again, no worries with that in California usually. I don't even know if they have a tarp in the sense. I know that they do, but you never see them use it. Parker Meadows, as this will be a base hit toward left. It's Profar. We'll play this one off the roll. So Parker has got speed. He's in the 9th part of the order that'll flip it over first time here for Detroit. I'll leave it up to Matt Vierling as they got the first one on in the third. I think this is a very important. I know it's early in the third, but we'll just throw this out there for Detroit. That was a pretty good piece of hitting right off the end of the bat knob. I think it's very important that they answer right now, just to scratch and claw, at least get one. Obviously, you want more, but you can't let this game get away from it because Tigers played pretty well in the first couple of games. Again, I'm not trying to be as crystal ball and homerish as a lot of people like to do in the sense of it because they didn't score any runs in the first game and deserved to lose. Second one, they had a 5-0 lead after the off day and got gut punched and lost 6-5. Make the argument they could have won both of these games, but this one might be the one that gets away. However, you can't let that happen considering you're 5 games back in the wild card. If you want to make a push, you cannot get swept. I don't care about if it's the Padres or the Orioles or anything else like that. You got to win games against good teams, and this is the most difficult part of the schedule right now. As far as the ending of the season, that isn't so bad. So Vierling on a changeup makes it 2-1. It was way low. It was a good block there for Diaz. 35 pitches. Seattle just got finished dusting off Oakland to win that series, and that's where Detroit's going to go now to play against the A's in a 3-game series. Tarek Skubal going tomorrow. 2-1. Vierling, this one towards second slide. Vierling runs very well. They're not going to be able to get 2. So Parker Meadows is the out at second. Vierling will now be the new base runner at first. Will be the first out in the third. So Xander Bogaerts will toss that one over across to McCoy. But Vierling runs too well for that to ever be a double play. But I'll leave it up to Andy Ibanez. Double play still in order here, mind you, with 1 out. Top 3. And the Padres already up 3-0 courtesy of 2 home runs. Xander Bogaerts with the latest blast, a 2-run shot in this double play. Looks like this is going to be turned. There's this one again. I might have spoke too soon. Andy Ibanez really got down the line. I did not expect him to get down the line so quickly. And Xander Bogaerts looking over to the umpires to make sure they don't have to check anything else. As Riley Greene will step in. So Tigers get the out at second for the first couple in the top of the third. I thought a double play would be turned the second time. I knew it wouldn't the first. But they're still alive here with a runner at first. Riley Greene, humongous cut. Sinker. Make it 0-1. His first plate appearance was a walk. As Perez's pitch count's in excellent shape right now through 2 2/3 innings. 5 seconds to work with on the pitch clock. Greene, this one in on his hands. That's where Perez has elected to go to with some of these power hitters. Riley Greene, not a ton of power, but he is the team leading with 20. Fangraphs gave the Tigers a 5.6 chance to make the playoffs. Honestly, that is a pretty good number considering where they are. If that's entering today, I kind of wonder what a couple of wins would have changed that up to, maybe 10 or 15. Because they certainly had a chance with the Twins and Royals not playing well of late. Now, granted, the Tigers did sweep a 4-game series against the White Sox. I understand they're one of the worst teams you might have ever seen in baseball, but you can only play who was on your schedule. And they had won 8 of the last 10 because they took the series from Seattle. They swept the White Sox. They gave themselves a chance. They had been playing, I think, roughly 14-6 baseball in the last 20 games. They've gotten themselves above 500. They were a couple games over. Now they're back to 70-70. But you got to win these games. You got to at least take one of them. Greene. This is right to Cronenworth. We'll step on the bag. Tigers are turned away. They had runners on the base paths again. Now we'll go to the top of the order here for San Diego. They're still up 3-0. So let's check the NFL part of the scoreboard. It is the end of the first quarter. They're in Arrowhead. This one on NBC. Patrick Mahomes, no touchdowns yet for him at the end of it, but 5 for 5 for 70 yards. He's already been sacked twice. Got to watch that there for the Kansas City defense. Lamar Jackson, 6 out of 7 for 58 yards. Couple carries for him as well for 19. Derrick Henry, the new Baltimore Raven, coming over from the Tennessee Titans, is 6 of 18 as far as carries with a touchdown. Zay Flowers, couple catches, 22 yards. Rashee Rice, leading receiver, 4 targets, 4 catches, 47 yards. And Isaiah Pacheco, a 23-yard catch and 2 carries for 5 yards. That's your look right now as the Ravens have the ball tied at 7. We're just underway in the second. I will give you the scoring updates. Again, Alec Nava has coverage for you if you want to follow that around on the Twitter X Space. Tomorrow, a half hour earlier, Green Bay and Philadelphia, I believe, are going to be in Brazil. That is encouraged. I saw from the Eagles on the plane, I want to say a 9-hour plane ride. And they said do not sleep to be able to keep your body clock and everything else acclimated when you come back to the States. I don't know, man. If I'm on a 9-hour plane ride, I find it hard to not catch a couple Z's. That's just me. Let's get back into the play-by-play. First pitch popped up right in the air from Luis Ariz. And that'll give way to Parker Meadows. And I'll go ahead and make the catch. I'll bring it up to Fernando Tatis. Tatis hit into a double play after Ariz reached in the first. Thought the damage could have been avoided, but Jurickson Profar solo shot. And then in the second, Xander Bogaerts, a 2-run wall scraper toward the left field side, just got out there. Again, if the wall was about 345, and this is just a rough estimate for me, home run was hit at 350. I mean, just got out there, but he hung a slider right in the bat pad for Xander, who hit his 7th on the season. Nordic says, I would do the same thing as far as a plane ride, because if it's 9 hours, if it's a long ride in South America, yeah, I don't know how you don't catch some Z's. You put on the iPad or wherever else, whatever you got on your phone, you watch something, you watch a movie, you pass out a little bit, watch one of your favorite shows. I think that's very hard. I mean, a professional athlete, I understand you want to keep the same routine, same workout, all of that. It's very hard not to catch some Z's on a plane. As Matt Vierling, sky underneath the shallow right field to make the catch, and Ariz and Tatis will be turned away. Again, I hope to maybe do the same in a couple months. I want to try to visit Cooper as we headed to Seattle to go see the Kraken and the Chicago Blackhawks play each other. I want to try to do that right on his birthday on the 14th. I got to make sure I get myself prepped and all that stuff before there. We're trying to get the plane tickets and everything all squared away. I think it's going to happen. I'm not just talking about it. I think we're actually going to make that happen the first time. So him and I can catch a game live. We're going to go with my cousin and hang out for a little bit from maybe like a Wednesday to a Sunday, and then swing back over here to Michigan and get back home. So I'm looking forward to that in mid-November. I hope he is too. Jurickson Profar 1-1 today with a home run. He had 2-0 leverage count. That was Casey Mize's best pitch of the day. You got a slider on the outside black. Make it 2-1. Tigers still trying to stay in this thing here. They've had runners on the base pass in the first, second, and third. As 4 seam is high. Jurickson Profar has a good count. 3-1. Honestly, if I'm Casey here, I don't think I even want to mess around unless you're absolutely sure you know you can locate something. Big cut for Profar. He went for the downs. That was way outside the zone. Would have easily been ball 4. That was down 3-2. Should Profar reach, it will bring up Manny Machado. Full count pitch. Fastball. Right down the middle, right to Torkelson. Step on the bag. Crisis averted there. Padres finally go quietly in an inning. Still 3-0. Let's go to the 4th. So Nordic and I on the YouTube side, we were just talking about the plane ride for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. I believe that's in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I know it's Brazil. I'm not sure what exactly city portion of it is. And how many people that they're going to fill, whether it's going to be a soccer stadium, whatever they're going to do there. I imagine that's kind of the way you normally would do things there. Let's give you some baseball scores and get you updated across the league here. Phillies make that one final. I was watching that one before I got ready a little bit. 5-2. Phils improved to 84 and 56. That's a team I really would like to see win the World Series. I know I've said that the last couple of years you follow on the coverage. I think they're very, very good. One of the best teams in all of baseball. Padres can certainly play for that. The Houston Astros can certainly still play for that in the American League side of it. Giants, they take a 3-2 win over Diamondbacks. Talk about Patrick Bailey's walk-off double. The Mariners, the M's, trying to stay in the hunt. They're a game above 500. That's what Tigers want to be. After today's 71-70, they won 6-4. Cal Raleigh does it again. And Julio Rodriguez had a 448-foot shot in the second deck. Minnesota Twins, they're trying to get back on track here. They take a 4-3 win over the Rays. They have the second wild card spot for the moment. Astros, surprise, they're held scoreless. They lose 1-0 to the Reds. Rangers up 3-1 on the Angels. Rangers trying to make a late run in September. They've been playing well lately, scoring a ton of runs. Just haven't been consistent. The Rockies up 3-1 on the Braves. It is bottom 9 with no outs. And top 9, the Pirates going to take that one against the Nationals. Although the bases are loaded for the Nats right now with 1 out. A grand slam can certainly change some things. We'll watch. So we are back into our featured game, and Justyn-Henry Malloy batting cleanup here for Detroit. Will slam a fastball foul down the third baseline, make it 1-2. It's Martin Perez. I am watching the Nationals and Pirates on the box score of ESPN as Aroldis Chapman is on the mound right now. He was able to get a strikeout. It's still bases loaded with Nats. The Pirates are up 9-4. A big hit can swing that game. It's 2 outs to go before that one is done. Perez inside. Did it hit Malloy? No, it did not, but it brushed him back. That was way inside. And again, Perez has not been shy about it. I know what some of the pitching coaches and what some of the announcers, play-by-play caller are going to tell you. If you can't locate, don't throw inside. Well, Perez definitely has. He's just trying to make everybody uncomfortable. If they sit too much on the plate, he's going to buzzsaw you a little bit. Trying to make sure you back off and keep his own space on the mound. I love it. 2-2. Perez rocks and delivers. Gorgeous pitch. Cutter too close. And Malloy's already taken 2 of those. That one, you could argue a little bit low, but again, if it's anywhere near a breath of that, it would be a stitch of it. It's too close to take, and you got to swing. And you have to swing. It's right there. So I have no problem giving a little bit of leverage there. You're talking maybe a couple centimeters off the plate here and there. I wouldn't even say inches, not even inches in the sense of it. You got to swing. Jake Rogers. We'll take a 90 on a sinker, that one outside. Still 3-0 Padres. A couple of home runs have been the difference right now. 1 shot and a 2-shot variety as we are in the 4th. This one at 91. Sinker does get the call. Again, it's around the plate. He's getting the call. I think it's been consistent. I like what's behind the plate right now. We'll give you the home plate umpire in a second. 1-1. As Perez will get the sign from Diaz. That one will split the plate, but it'll be a can of corn towards center field for Jackson Merrill. No problem. Make the catch. 2 down here for the Tigers. So let's take a look at who's behind the dish today. I will refresh this as we'll get this one. So Phil Cuzzy is calling balls and strikes. The over-under is set at 8.5 right now. That is a good possibility. And we got 85 degrees with 7-mile-an-hour winds. Slowly from left to right, but it's just a beautiful day for baseball. At about the 6:29 local side, Tigers are going to get turned away. Machado, soft toss. Cronenworth. Tigers turned away very easily. Padres lead bottom four, still 3-0.
The versatile Toyota RAV4 is ready for anything on or off the road. This RAV4 is a hybrid EV, so you can take your adventures even further. Check out all this cargo space. That's what you call room with a view.
I'm going to get to your comment in a second. I know I saw that across.
Today, let's get it there. America's most trusted neighborhood. We have it. Well, right there, you can get a home for under $100. Should use that. More.
I thought you said to research this.
Don't overpay for your next project. Get fair quality at an everyday low price. Only at Home Depot.
As a professional athlete, my physical and mental strength is challenged many times. But my biggest challenge came after baseball when I was diagnosed.
So let's get to that comment. I want to make sure we address this. I saw an article saying that the Packers-Eagles game might be moved, but it's all planned out and it's too late to move the game back to somewhere else. Yeah, I would imagine. And I know Darius Slay had made the comment, the former Lion, in the sense of, why play here? There's a bunch of crime. I don't feel comfortable and all of that. And then I know Alec had made the point, well, you have Chicago, you got Detroit, you have some other places like that deal with a lot of crime. Yeah, I mean, I have to say that he's right. So I agree with Alec's point there. I don't know if I'm just going to be completely honest. I don't know if the Brazil thing makes a bunch of sense. And honestly, when they tried to play in London all the time for these NFL games and you get these 9 o'clock starts in the morning here locally, I don't really care for those either, to be honest with you. Does anyone that follows soccer, football, follow American football over there on that side particularly care for it? Because when you have those type of games, in London especially, we're talking like, what, Panthers and Patriots. It's football in England. Nobody wants to watch that. That's just the way I feel about it. Kreidler. This one over to Machado. Tosses him out from Torkelson. And 1 up, 1 down for Casey Mize to start the fourth. That one at about 112 miles an hour, as they're showing Benetti and Dan Petrie. Again, for Jason Benetti, he has cerebral palsy like myself. But he is one of those guys that have been a White Sox mainstay for a long time. There was some tumultuism as far as the relationship between the White Sox management that made Jason Benetti come here. And the only reason why Jason Benetti is here is he was getting flat out disrespected in Chicago. And I guess Hawk Harrelson, their former play-by-play man, you know him well from He Gone and some of the other things he said. It was kind of like that. It's the White Sox way or nothing else. It's kind of interesting considering because the White Sox aren't very good. You know what I mean? So you want to be respected just like any other human being, let alone disability or not. It just doesn't make much sense because Jason Benetti is one of the good ones. And you think you'd want to hold on to that. But their loss is Detroit's game, no doubt about it. They went from Matt Shepard, who was very respected in the business. Play-by-play was a little bit dry. I mean, even for me, I'm not going to say I can do an excellent job, but you got to bring a little bit of excitement. But Jason Benetti is a guy that likes to tell a lot of stories, have a good time. I definitely enjoy that. Dan Dickerson and him, that's a good combo, especially for the wings as well. You got Ken Kell and Ken Daniels. I mean, you can't do much better than that, ladies and gentlemen, to be honest with you. And that's not even biased. That's just, they're a good group. So Jake Cronenworth, 2-2 against Mize. His pitch count's not in bad shape. 2-2. Swing and a miss. You got Jake Cronenworth on his slider. You got the bat hand a little bit out in front. Casey Mize, I believe, is going to get the first K of the day. So let's look at it right now. Indeed, again, I do have the math correct. 3 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 strikeout, no walks. Casey Mize generally is around the plate. Kind of like Verlander in the sense of, don't dare say I'm making this comparison in the sense of stuff. But what I mean is you're going to challenge players with the pitch, and that's going to give you to allow to get a chance to get some more home runs. Because if you're constantly being challenged in the strike zone, you know you got to swing. You're going to find something. In case you might loves to throw strikes. So the White Sox being worse than the A's is something I did not have on my 2024 baseball bingo card. You know what, Nordic? I agree with you. I didn't think they were going to be this bad. They are historically bad. It's almost what the Cleveland Spiders. I forget what year was it? What 1929, something like that. We didn't have 162 games back then. The Mets lost 119 games. I think that was a 158 game season. I want to say, and it looks like the White Sox could threaten for all of that. Nobody's going to break what the Spiders did because I think they lost about 130 games in a season that was nowhere close to 162. I think it was like 126, somewhere around there. But in modern day history, the White Sox can go down as the worst team ever. And when you had Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, and some of the other players there, that Robert's very good. Garrett Crochet's pretty good, as this one's licensed left field. Xander Bogaerts now 2 for 2 as he gets a single with his 2-run shot today. They had players to try to jumpstart that. You still had Chris Sale. You had some other pieces. You thought that they were going to be pretty good. The rebuild was done. It was over with. You had Tony La Russa as your bench manager. No, didn't work out. I mean, right now the Tigers are in a better spot than the White Sox are. And this is after, what, a farce for Avila for 11 seasons? That's crazy. Jackson Merrill, fastball at 96. Make it 0-1. So Bogaerts has a single. He's at first, 2 outs. Here for the Pods, it's a 3-0 lead for them, courtesy of 2 home runs. 0-1. Big cut on a splitter. That was nowhere close. We have not seen, at least in this series, watched the first couple of games, but especially over the month side for Jackson Merrill, get big at all with his swings. Rookie, nonetheless. You can talk about guys like Wyatt Langford or some of the other ones for Texas last year. That I know Langford was just called up now, but I'm blanking on one of the names. Honestly, I apologize. And we followed for Texas last year, rookies that played well and won a World Series. Jackson Merrill, as a rookie right now, looks like one of the best hitters in baseball. And that's not even being disingenuous. He's been that good. 1-2. Casey Mize gets the sign from Rogers. 88 on a splitter. Rolled right to Keith. Torkelson, no problem. Padres turned away. Still lead by 3. Let's go over to the 5th. Plug my phone in just to make sure that it does not die. Again, appreciate you guys being on the Twitter space and on the YouTube side. Let's give you an update. Football score. Harrison Butker kicks a field goal. He's 1 for 1. Justin Tucker always gets the extra point right now. It's a 10-7 lead for the Chefs, and they are driving. I know it's the Chiefs, but I just want to have some fun. They have the football with 9:02 left to go in the half. Let me pull up my email really quickly because we'll do some picks against the spread maybe toward the 5th, 6th. Have some fun before I blow up my vocal cords. Take a break tomorrow.
Wait, but that's what we do. We catch. I catch football. I catch random strangers. I think that's slice. I catch big old fish.
Guys, it's free delivery. Meaning it's actually free, so there's no catch.
Get me on this wall! Get me delivered from Little Caesars and free delivery for a limited time.
Pizza, pizza.
Spin the old randomizer and see who comes up Tiger of the Day today. Who are we crowning? It is old Claude Rossman, who made his debut in 1904. He got fined $50 by Huey Jennings for hitting a home run after he was told to bunt. AJ Hinch would pay his fine.
Wow. Okay.
$50 back in 1907 or whatever year it was.
That's a big fine. No, that's a mansion that you could have bought. Roll on. He's born in 1881.
Top five, Tigers are trying to score some runs. Cole Keith will lead it off against Martin Perez, who's been absolutely dealing. Cole Keith, this will be served toward Jackson Merrill, left center field. Will slide over, Sonner and make the catch. And now that'll leave it up to Ryan Kreidler and Parker Meadows. Again, if I had my numbers correct, it'd be 789, not 799 as far as York. But we adjusted that on the MLB RotoWire as I try to get that done. I get this stuff done last night a little bit late, and then we kind of just get the lineups finalized with the numbers there. So Perez, we talked about, he gave up 20 bombs, and the Tigers might be open to scoring some runs. Right now, it doesn't look like they're going to do much of anything. Tarek Skubal and Spence tomorrow, as that will be in California. They'll just transfer over to Oakland. It's not going to be that long before the A's play in Vegas. 98 down the middle, 91 I should say. Kreidler, and this one will go all the way back for 0-2. So Perez just 57 pitches into his day. Honestly, this story is going to be pretty short here if this continues where it is right now. Once this game's all said and done, because Perez is taking care of business right now, pitching to contact. Kreidler 0-2. Is there any pop in this bat? This one is toward the backhands, high, and will hold safely. Make it 1-2, never threaten to go. Twins did get a 4-3 win over Tampa, so that kind of stretches things out in the American League wildcard. Kreidler, big wave and a cut at a changeup, nowhere close. And Perez gets the strikeout, and Parker Meadows is the last hope in the top of the fifth. So Perez has looked very good. Let's get into his line right now. Win probability already at 92% for San Diego. 4 2/3, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. And that's an ERA was about in the 4.7s to start today. And right now, that does not look like what we're seeing from Martin Perez. He looks like the all-star that he used to be. Sinker at 90. That one split the plate. Parker doesn't offer. It's 0-1. So Perez just 60 pitches in his day through 4 2/3. So pitch count very economical. Cutter, that one just outside. Make it 1-1. Again, if you're just joining us and anything else, it is a mix in between a couple of home runs. For the Padres, you had Jurickson Profar and Xander Bogaerts with a 1 home run and 2 home run variety, and that is where we are. Parker Meadows, the last hope in the top of the fifth. 1-1 with a single in the third at 223 season average. 2-1 pitch. This one in on the hands, and Parker does a good job of playing that one and able to stay alive. That was a good play by the ball girl as well, using that right off the bounce. Toss it over to some young fan. Always like to see that. Parker Meadows, 5 home runs, 13 RBI, 26 runs scored, 17 walks, 52 strikeouts. He does have base stealing threat power there for speed. This one is surveyed toward Machado, and he's got it anyway, because that one was split. Go bottom 5. Padres still up 3-0.
Play ball, Michigan. Shop the latest in Tiger style with your favorite brands and throwback designs. Rally House is here for every bag. Lions, Tigers, Redwoods, Pistons, Spartans, Seahawks, everything Michigan. Shop home run styles in store and online at rallyhouse.com. It's so much better than even easier if you find what you want. All in one place.
My favorites.
Get Xfinity Internet for $30 a month for 12 months. Plus, X screensaver with Netflix, Apple TV Plus, and Peacock for only $15 a month.
All right, stand rooms out of the basement and the furnace has been exercised.
Ibanez, another progressive Colorado bundle fully protected from the unexpected.
Beetlejuice caused quite a ruckus, huh?
Jamie, go chase me.
Beetlejuice?
Say his name 3 times this hype summer.
Right. What if I say other words in between? Does that restart it?
Don't overthink it.
Or what if I broke it up into 2 parts? Like someone said, what's your favorite bug? Beetle. What's your favorite morning beverage? Juice.
You're welcome.
Introducing theater September 6th. Arby's is full of choices. You can get your favorite stuffed peppers, 3 for $5. Incredible value. Reach in and eat whatever you grab. Arby's, we have the meats.
Tigers down 3 here at Petco Park, but we have good news on the medical front. Reese Olsen started his rehab assignment with AAA Toledo tonight. Here's his comparable game summary, or stat line, I should say. He threw 2 scoreless innings with a hit, a walk.
So if you want some good news for Detroit, for Natalie Kerwin here, sideline reporter, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 39 pitches for Reese Olsen and a couple innings in his rehab start with Toledo. Should be making his return to the big club very shortly here. Maybe next week we'll see what happens there for Reese Olsen, but a very good arm. Honestly, maybe a throwaway arm that some of us could have thought it would have been, but he's been quite good, and they can definitely use it. Tigers' arms by committee, bullpen, all that have been very, very good all the way across this run, and that's why they push themselves to where they are. It doesn't really matter who they throw out. They just continually get outs. It's just about finding some other starters, because I'll be completely honest with you and shoot you straight. In terms of where the Tigers are at, you got Carter Montero, Tarek Skubal, and now Casey Mize is finally entered the zone. That's 3 starters. They've been rocking 3 bullpen days a week in the mix of those 5 starters before Casey Mize got there. So they're just continually finding a way to get wins. I know it hasn't happened in this series so far, but that is exceptional stuff. You think if the Tigers spend a little bit of money when Baez's deal is done in a few years, as Diaz will lace one down the left field line, they could be in good shape. Diaz should have a double, no problem, as Greene will get this one in. And whether or not it's the Rockies or the Padres that is laced down the left field line for a double, Elias Diaz gets the job done. So Padres already have another threat to score some more runs, another hanging slider. That's right up high, middle. I mean, every one of the ones that have been a mistake, those are the reasons why the Padres have 3 runs, and that's the damage that they've done. There really is no surprise tonight. We'll leave it up to Jackson McCoy, and then we'll flip over across the order for Mike Schultz's squad. We'll offer it a bunt. This one, he's out. The ball hit him. The ball hit him right out of the box. And if it hits you, you're a live runner. And Jackson McCoy is out. That's a very odd play. So it bounces and then hits him off the inside of the leg. So anytime a ball, let's just say, what you would normally see is first or second, and it hits the guy running over to the base, and they're out. And right now, the umpires are convening to make sure, and Mike Schultz is out there just to see if McCoy is going to call this one foul. If he stays alive, if it's foul, that's one thing. It's 1 strike. If it's fair, he's out. So I'm not sure. It looks like when the ball hit him, he was in foul territory making the run. I wish I had a clear and convincing call to tell you. I don't think Mike Schultz is going to win this argument. I think he's going to be out. They're calling the out. So he tried to go for the bunt. Baseball hit him, so he's out. That does advance. That does not advance. Luis Diaz, he had a double, so stays right where he is. We'll leave it up to Luis Ariz, who could certainly advance Diaz home and make it 4-0. That's what I should have said. So McCoy out after the bunt. Baseball hits him. 1 out, bottom 5. Padres up 3-0. Got all the clarifications we need. Let's do business now. 5 seconds to go on the pitch clock. Rise. We'll just wash a fastball. 95 low. Make it 1-1. Casey Mize pitch count today at 67 through 4 1/3. He's not been terrible. I said that off his last start, just about location for some of these. Rise. This is a big swing. Vierling will get sent toward the track. That's about the extent of his power. And this will not be tagged for Diaz. I don't even think Diaz thought a Rise could hit it that far. Let me tell you, my friend, me either. So Matt Vierling able to stay with it. Luis Rise, if he would have knocked it out, would have been just his 5th on the year. So Nordic says the A's are in a million times better place than their record than the White Sox. A's are 61 and 80. Yes, they are. I completely agree. Honestly thought the Cardinals, as this one goes to second, Cole Keith tossed over Torkelson. Padres done after 5 as Tatis grounds out. Honestly thought the Cardinals had a decent season, but they may have a second losing season since 07. I think there's still some work to do over there for the Birds, but I do think that they will get it together. That's a proud organization. They've done well for a long time. I would consider them to figure it out very soon. So let me do this. So I'm just going to give my thoughts. Again, I don't have any in the Twitter part of it now, but I just want to do this anyway because I have this open on the email side as far as the picks. Again, we do the Sunday and Monday games, so I don't have to worry about today or the game in Brazil. Thankfully, I hate doing that with the time differences because you never know what you're going to get. And Miami and Jacksonville. This one is 3.5 points for Jacksonville on the road. Tua and Trevor Lawrence. That should be a pretty good matchup here, but with week 1, with everybody healthy, with all the weapons and everything else available, I will take Miami to cover the 3.5. This one I wish was a little bit more, but this is very interesting of what you want to do as far as Pittsburgh and Atlanta, because you have 2 quarterbacks making debuts for some new teams. Kirk Cousins in the Atlanta Falcons, it feels really weird not saying Minnesota Vikings, taking on Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers getting 3.5. I've been back and forth on this one quite a bit. BetMGM lines and fan lines think that Pittsburgh is going to cover this one by at least 5, and Pittsburgh getting 3.5. I think I'm going to go ahead and probably take a pick that not a lot of you are going to do. I'm going to take the Steelers. I'm going to take the points on that one. We'll get some more of those as we go along. Let's go to the 6. Vierling. This is Profar. He was playing real deep. He's going to go in a shallow left field, and he'll take about 7 or 8 steps and make a catch. As Martin Perez continues to just dazzle these Tigers here and kind of confound them. 64 pitches into his day. He's already got an out through 5 1/3. And I'll be Andy Ibanez. And the next batter for the Tigers, should he reach there, be Riley Greene, hopefully, with somebody on base. Ibanez will take a sinker high at 89. Kenta Maeda now starting to warm up for Detroit. If he really wants to here, you can go multiple innings and pretty much finish this all the way off. Ibanez. This is slicing Tatis. He leaps just away from his feet and makes the catch off his tippy toes. Kind of looked like a prance there, a little bit of a half leap, but he made the catch. He's got a ton of speed, and Tatis made that look a lot easier than it was on a slicing drive toward right field, just shy of the track. 2 quick outs for Perez, and I would be very hard-pressed to believe that Mike Schill would at least have Perez come out there for another inning before you figure out whatever else you want to do. Riley Greene, 91, splits the plate right down the middle. And this game might be done before I even expect on this side of it. I know it started an hour earlier from yesterday, but just 4 pitches in the 6th, he's got 2 outs. And Riley Greene now is already down 0-2. As he will swing on a changeup and hit a foul. So, John, out here with you from San Diego, California. It's the Bally Sports Detroit feed. Padres up 3-0, courtesy of a couple of home runs from Profar and Bogarts. That's all the scoring that we've had. Very close pitch on a sinker that was high and inside, and Riley Greene is still alive here. Top of the sixth, make it 1-2. I might actually get done before Alec Nava. That would be amazing, to be honest with you. We'll see. 1-2, slicing foul on a cutter. My hope is that the Tigers can salvage something, but I'm not quite sure that is going to happen considering the way Perez is pitching. They've got to get to him first. Runners in the first, second, and third inning, but really after that, not much. Big swing and a miss on a changeup had no chance on. Riley Greene punches out. Perez has looked excellent. Bottom six, still 3-0 Padres.
Introducing Chevy's best lineup of SUVs ever. The Rocket Always Ready Trailblazer, the first ever Traverse Z71, and the Chevy Trax, starting at $21,495.
Most people are blaming the managing staff for the Redbirds, and I'm one of those people. Nordic, you're probably right in the sense of, because anytime you hear the words Cardinals and struggle, again, I know I'm a little bit older than you are, but that's just never in the vocabulary for me. Cardinals are always a team with a proud franchise that do a ton of damage and win a lot of games and very successful. They got some work to do.
Experience all the excitement of America Park this season. Get your tickets to the biggest matchups, and don't forget about Friday Night Party in the Park, presented by Casamigos. Giveaways on Saturday and Chevy Sunday Kids Day. Secure your tickets now at tigers.com/tickets.
Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand. Plus, U.S. subscribers now have 24/7 access to MLB Network. Visit MLB.tv for details. First pitch is one to Casey Mize to Justyn-Henry, which home run gave the Padres the lead.
So Casey Mize out here, bottom six, pitch number 70. It is 2-0 against Jurickson Profar. Slider, cutter, both miss inside and outside the zone. 1 for 2 with a solo home run in the first that opened the scoring. That might be the game winner, considering the way Perez is pitching. I know it's only 3-0, but his 1-0 solo shot to start this is Casey Mize, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, and 1 strikeout, no walks. It's not been bad. They're there, but you got to score some runs. 94. Good pitch there for Casey. Just caught the outside black a little bit low. Make it 3-1. The pitch clock down to 5. 86 on a slider. Profar takes that one just a little bit closer on the outside. Now it's full. So Profar, and I would say the rest of the Padres, they are top in the league as far as batting average. And Luis Arias has a lot to do with that. So let's not sugarcoat it there. However, I do like the fact that the Padres take pitches. They find what they like. They're very selective. They're not afraid to get behind the count, and they can still do damage and find leverage wherever they are. Profar inside out, so slider. This will go all the way back and toward the crowd, followed straight back amongst home plate, a little bit toward the left. So they're never rattled as far as where they are, as far as the pitch count. Chris Fetter is getting some looks there alongside Casey Mize against the second start there from the IL. Wasn't a good start for Casey at the first couple of innings, but looks like he's settled in a little bit. I know what the Boo Birds are going to say. Another one of those where you give up too many runs. Well, you got 0 right now, and that's it for Detroit. So I'll take the walk. First walk issued by Mize. It was 3-0. He fought his way back into it before he missed the fastball high. As they're showing this, for Casey Mize against the Red Sox in his first start, and maybe where some of these pitches have mixed. So they showed on the Bally Sports Detroit feed, if you get a runner on base, Mize will look over his shoulder to the left or right. It doesn't matter first or second. Looks like he might worry about where the runner's going to be, whether or not they're taking off, and then hang a pitch right after that. And they showed that off the same camera shot in between the Red Sox and the Padres. That was last off Xander Bogaerts' home run off the hanging slider. That if you get too preoccupied with the runner there and then you miss your spot, you can awfully pay. That's what happens with young pitchers. I would still qualify Casey Mize around 25 years old and being on that side of being a young pitcher. But still, you got to, as we talk about going into this game, considering the caliber of hitters that they are, let's go through it. Arise, Tatis, Profar, Machado, Cronenworth, Bogaerts, Jackson Merrill deserves to be on that list. 1 through 7, those are guys you absolutely can't mess around with. Big wave and a miss on Machado. Swung himself out of his shoes there. So now Kenley Jansen will show this on the Bally Sports Detroit feed when Tigers played the Red Sox. He'll look back at McKinstry and then take one way out of the zone for Kerry Carpenter. So they're showing pitches that are good selections and pitches that are not, as far as runners in scoring position. If you got count leverage as a pitcher, there's no need to threaten the strike zone if you don't feel you need to. 1-2. Machado will wave at a pitch way outside, still able to get a piece of it, and it is 1-2. Manny Machado spent some time with the Baltimore Orioles. They mix in between the Padres and I believe the Los Angeles Dodgers. I want to say that I think he was with another team before he went to the Padres. Before we're talking about hot dogging, but Manny Machado is a guy that's very passionate. He is a wizard on defense. He can hit you home runs. He can do a little bit of everything. He's a superstar. So anybody that wants to take a couple times where he doesn't hustle down the bag, I think that is misguided because anybody wants to have this guy on their team. 1-2. Hit and run was on for Mike Schilt and Profar. Going to go right back to first as Machado will take 3 straight pitches and fall them back and still sit at 1-2. John out here with you on the call. It's been a while since we did one. It's good to get back into the groove of things. I promise I will be back in the sense with a little more fever to here and just work a little bit more because I'm just trying to find my way in. 1 and 2 pitch, strike 3 at 98 on the bottom of the belt. And Mize geared up a little bit more there. Actually got the strikeout, 98 miles an hour. I don't know what's in the top there. 98 on a sinker. Normally on a sinker, he would be about 85. So he bulleted that fastball, and it looked more like a sinker. I think he knew it was his last pitch. That's why he threw it all out there. AJ goes to the mound, and that's going to bring up Kenta Maeda. We'll try to close out the 6th, and we'll go to break.
You could go from point A to B, or you could go to point X. Your next X venture starts here. Test drive the BMW X3 at your local BMW Center.
If you're sharing a hotel room with friends, you're also sharing a bathroom and a mirror and a tiny hairdryer and an outlet and a tiny counter. Get an Airbnb and get more space.
again tomorrow night. Tigers continue their West Coast trip and take on the Oakland Athletics. Coverage begins with Tigers Live at 9 p.m. Tomorrow night, Dan Petrie takes the Parks to the Coliseum at 9, right here on Bally Sports Detroit.
Yeah, and that Oakland A's team is playing some really good baseball right now, too. So the Tigers are going to, again, have their work cut out for them.
Third swivel tomorrow night.
Yep.
Casey Mize is done. Kenta Maeda is in. Then 5 1/3 for Casey. There is a Wilson Meadows pitching change.
So Kenta picked up his third win last time out. It's been a week ago Wednesday, his last time. And 4 1/3 innings. A couple of hits.
So Kenta Maeda is a new pitcher. Will have to do business against Jake Cronenworth, who's batting number 5 in the order. Xander Bogaerts. Unless Cronenworth hits into a double play here, would be next. Again, this 2-run shot in the second inning made it a 3-0 game. But still, we are bottom 6. Detroit's still hanging around here. Kenta Maeda on a splitter way high. Put Jake Rogers over the crouch, but he will make the catch and make the toss over. Cronenworth has been a thorn in the side of the Tigers here, but it is nice to see the former U of M pitcher of all the position player to be pretty good, be a multiple-time All-Star. As Jake Rogers threw another soft toss over there for Manny Machado. So Cronenworth waiting on a 3-1. What's Kenta Maeda going to do? They're still watching Machado over at first. I think they're getting a little too busy with that. 79. That was called a strike on a sweeper. Cronenworth can't believe it. With Phil Cuzzy behind the plate. He issues time. I think Cronenworth is going to take that too. He kind of soft-tossed and tilted that head a little bit. I don't blame him. That should have been a walk for the former Wolverine. But Kenta Maeda dig back in. Try to do something with this full count. He needs a ball and play strikeout here. Big cut. Sweeper. Ibanez. You don't want to run into Rogers. Rogers give away to Andy, and you make the catch for out number 2. Xander Bogaerts will be the last hope in the bottom of the 6th. This is a big run to Strand here for Detroit. Xander Bogaerts 2 for 2. Jackson Merrill has been hot in this series. Not in this game, but in this series, he has done a lot of damage. He's hit home runs. He's hit doubles. Again, he could have had 2 home runs last night because he had a 3-run shot when the Padres were down 5-0. And then the next time he had a ground rule double that would have been a 2-run shot, but it went over the wall off a bounce. So Kenta's already tossed over a couple times. That's the first disengagement on the new batter here as he tosses over from Profar. Is Bogaerts. Win on a 2-2. Pitch clock at 12, and Kenta, he's just going to rush this one for a fastball at 93. That's probably where he tops out right now. Again, he's been a, say, star pitcher for a long time. Not right now, but Kenta's been around this league for a long time. Really liked him in the mix in between the Twins, the Dodgers, things like that. This will be tossed over the short way from Ibanez, right to Kreidler. And this will get Profar out, and the Tigers go to the 7th. They need some runs.
This is you, and this is your first hunch of the season. It's parlay time. With FanDuel, a 3-week free trial NFL Sunday ticket for YouTube TV will give you many more. Oh, no. It's Broncos time. I take the over. And you can easily act on whichever one speaks to you. Eagles, Browns, Broncos, Bills, they all make every moment more. New customers get $5 and 200 in bonus bets. Plus, every customer gets a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube TV. Only from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If there's one thing we like, it's choices. So whether it's the legendary wow of the fuel-injected Ford Mustang GT, or the thrill of 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds with the all-electric Ford Mustang Mach-E Premium, nothing satisfies your craving for adrenaline like a Mustang.
AZ Plan Must-Sees can lease the 2024 Mach-E for $299 a month for 24 months, only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
From full house to empty nest,
to free birds. Vanguard Personal Advisor can help you prepare for every chapter.
We got this.
That's the value of ownership.
A lot of excitement to close this one out. A hard grounder. Flash of the leather, he's all over it. No, wait, can't seem to get a handle. Still in play. Got it. Got it. Well, now he's just fine.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch, and it's the changeup from Martin Perez, and it's caused the Tigers all kinds of trouble today, paired with that really good sinker. Got a lot of soft contact with the pitch, and also out of his 4 strikeouts, 3 of them come on that changeup.
So here's the challenge for Martin Perez. It's maintaining the 3rd time through. He's done it so far. Justyn-Henry Malloy, fly ball into Merrill's grab. Perez one away quickly.
So we get to the top 7th. Henry Malloy hits it right to Jackson Merrill, and that is the first out, top 7. We've kind of been just trading zeros all the way across the rest of this way. Martin Perez absolutely locked in. Thinking about going in today, he's been giving up a ton of runs and has not pitched what he's capable of, but it looks like his Texas Rangers self now that I'm watching him. And again, I know Dustin will be very happy with that on that side for a former pitcher, but I guess you don't think about that now when you think about a former team. But Martin Perez has been a good Ranger for a long time. This is the best I've seen him look in a Padres uniform, especially this season. 0-2. Big swing and miss on a changeup. And talk about having your team ready to play wherever it is. I don't think the Tigers are expecting this. 0-2. Rogers. This will be looped toward Profar. And a single. It's been a while. 75 pitches into Perez's day. He has looked very good. And we will see if this continues. Tigers need to take this right now because you are down to essentially your last 8 outs. Comes very quickly in a game like this. I feel like I haven't done the play-by-play very long. Look at where this is activated. This is an hour and a half right now. You could be done with this in less than 2 hours. The way that this is, and I would be absolutely happy with that. I would say my voice, but man, oh man, it's been a quick game. Torkelson, 1-0 against Perez. First pitch strikes for Martinez, 17 out of 24. It's a changeup spiked in the dirt. And Elias Diaz will make a good block. Get this one off the outside of the glove. We'll see if Mike Schultz starts to get thing one. So Jason Adam, you got Tanner Scott, you got Robert Suarez, some of the best arms in the back end side of it. Not because you get the back end, you want to save your guys there, but really that's what it is for Mike Schultz. There's a lot of weapons to use there. And they're going to the mound right now to check on Martin to make sure he's okay.
Yeah, 14 pitches, 10 pitches, 11 pitches.
Yeah.
While they're talking, can we step aside for Roundhouse, please? Yeah, I think we can. Okay, let's do it. Message from Roundhouse.
Play ball, Michigan. Shop the latest in Tiger style with your favorite brands and throwback designs. Rally House has gear for everything.
Doesn't we need another producer? Dan Petrie. Two Alex Torkelson at the plate, and the conversation is broken up by Phil Kennedy.
You think they're just giving Adam?
So let's just do this real quick. 20 pitches in the first. We thought there could be something. 9 in the second, 12 in the third, 11, and then 6, 5. You mix that in there. Perez has really been rolling around. It was the first inning where the Tigers had runners at first and second. They could have done some damage. Didn't do anything there. Perez is locked in. 2-0 against Torkelson, though, with 1 out in the 7th. That is a very good sinker, just on the outside black. Make it 2-1. John Utter with you. San Diego, California, Bally Sports Detroit feed. We're calling the Detroit Tigers and the San Diego Padres back in the driver's seat here. Wanted to see what the Tigers going to do in the mix of a wild card hopeful on both sides. We pretty much can guarantee the Padres are going to be in the playoffs. But Tigers, they need some help, and they got to do their own help. They got to win some of these games. You got 6 against Baltimore not long after this. 3-1. Torkelson, good cut. And this will be a single. This will move Jake Rogers to second. Runners on first and second now. And they just had that meeting on the mound with Mike Schilt, Martin Perez, pitching coach, and everybody else. What do they want to do now? Do they want to go to Jason Adam? I think they're going to make the hook now, just to kind of cut off any head of the snake there for the Tigers. They'll go ahead and do it now. I'll step aside. Tigers runners first and second on 1 out. They got to get it going right now. Mike Schilt senses that. He'll take the change. I think Jason Adams coming in. Come right back.
Yeah, they trust Adam enough.
Hey, stop that, babe. It's been working great for me. So did I. What's yours? I set an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun. Right. So what's your system? What's that? Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours. So how would you describe the chicken to someone who has never tasted it?
Literally melt in your mouth tender. You don't have a reason. You know, it's almost like a farmer's market. When you walk into the restaurant, you should hear the sizzle that you're hearing right now. Send all those flavors, you know.
You're making me hungry.
So this is pickleball?
The D-trade for Morgan Stanley is limited server. You get what the checks on. I'd rather work on St. Robert's or college, since you like to get schools. It's pretty burden.
At Ace, we know not all ink is created equal, so they do it right. Start with our story. Only Ace has this collection of premium brands like Benjamin Moore, Magnolia Home by Johnny Danes, and Clark & Kensington. And Ace has premium service and quality paint that stand up to the test of time. Your local Ace's gallons of durable paint like Greene, Justyn-Henry, Malloy, and right now, they're 20% off and select major
Quickly cancel Sportsbook's same-game parlay tonight. Jake Rogers just gave up a hit. Colt Keith has held up his end of the bargain. Would be nice to get another hit here, though. All we need is an Andy Ibanez home run. He got his last homer 8 games ago, so it's time. He's going to do it again, baby. He's going to.
That'd be great now. Thank you. As Jake Rogers at second, Spencer Torkelson at first, and AJ Hinch now can unload the left-handers if he wants. Our wall side windows pitching change is Jason Adams. Adam in that slider or merciless. Yes, we do.
Yeah, and let's see how it's.
So Jason Adam is going to throw sliders. That's what he does. 63 innings, an ERA of 2. You have Rogers and Torkelson, the base runners. Colt Keith against Adam. You got the lefties against the righties. There's a lot of lefties. Kerry Carpenter is going to be due up next as it's going to start to make some moves here for AJ Hinch to do what they're going to do to take out Ryan Kreidler. They have the lefties against the righties. Colt Keith, leverage at bat. This is slowly turned. They cannot get 2. That will put Jake Rogers to second and third to Torkelson and Rogers, and leave it up to Kerry Bonds, Mr. Kerry Carpenter. That's what he's affectionately called here. I'm not saying that's going to stick. That's what they like to call. They will go ahead and replace Ryan Kreidler and Mike Schilt. It's going to make sure that Jason Adam has to do the job, because I'll just be honest with you here. Top 7, 2 outs, runners second, third. This probably is the ball game. Kerry Carpenter gets a couple runs, maybe even a shot here, ties it up. This changes things. And this is their Tigers' best power bat. I know Riley Greene's got 20 tanks, but Kerry Carpenter is the one guy that I trust. I don't care if it's right on right, right on right, right on left. You can mix wherever you want. I'd take Kerry Carpenter in a home run over anybody else. Parker Meadows in the 9th side. That kind of helps him out there with a couple of lefties. If Kerry Carpenter comes through, pitch clock down to 3. 95. That one almost split the plate, and Kerry Carpenter takes it for a strike. I'd like to see that pitch one more time. If you're Kerry, I don't think you're going to get it, however. 0-1. Torkelson at second, Rogers at third, 2 outs. Tigers down 3-0. slider misses way inside, not close. Make it 1-1 on carry. Thank you guys for joining me in between the Twitter space and the YouTube side today. It has been a lot of fun to cover the hometown team. It's certainly been a while. I miss these types of games, as this is 95. Good pitch there from Adam. Make it 1-2. Again, I don't get a chance to cover the home team often. I mean, I could in every game, but I want to try to make things fun. I want to try to get it when it's close. When these guys are not close or not good, it doesn't help much. Oh, well, that side of it. 1-2. Couple of practice as the night starts to descend in California. 7:20 time locally for them, 10:20 for me. 1-2. 89 on a changeup. Make it 2-2 as the count continues to swell. Kerry Carpenter trying to come through for Detroit. Kind of get the feeling that this might be the game here. How many more leverage at bats are you going to get? 2-2. Pitch clock down to 1. Kerry Carpenter inside on a slider. Put the count to full. Parker Meadows, should Carpenter reach, would be next before they flip the lineup over. It's been fastball slider mix with one changeup in this 5-pitch sequence so far. Full count on the way. Big swing and a miss. And Adam gets the job done, and the Padres continue to hold on to a 3-0 lead. Jason Adam does the job. Mike Schultz makes the move, and it's going to look like Perez's final line is done.
As a professional athlete, my physical and mental strength was challenged many times. But my biggest challenge came after baseball when I was diagnosed.
We haven't had any runs since the bottom of the second inning. The Padres still up 3-0 here. Let's take a look. Mr. Alec Nava at Datyinzer Alec has the football opener for you in the NFL. The Chiefs have a 13-10 lead at the half over the Baltimore Ravens. Justin Tucker has already missed a field goal. He's trying to miss a few of these as he's getting up there. 1-2. Harrison Butker 2-2. So far, that's the difference. At the half, Lamar Jackson 13 of 18, throwing for 105. He's the leading rusher, 8 carries, 63 yards. Patrick Mahomes not particularly sharp, 9 for 14, 117 yards and an interception. He's also been sacked twice. Zay Flowers, leading receiver for the Ravens, 5 catches, 39 yards. Rashee Rice, 4 receptions for 47, with his long being a 19-yard catch. Lamar Jackson also has a fumble lost. We'll give you those updates as we get a little farther along. So 0-1 is the count on Jackson Merrill. He's been quiet today. That is good news for the Tigers, although the last couple of games for Jackson Merrill not been a lot of good news for Detroit because he's been ripping the cover off the baseball. Matt Vierling now in third. Ibanez shifts this short, and Carpenter stays in the ball game after coming off the bench. Will play right field. Jackson Merrill 0-2 against Kenta Maeda. Kenta Maeda could finish the rest of this game considering where the scoreline is. If he wants to, if they want to do that with AJ Hinch. 1-2 sweeper just fell way out of the hands. So tomorrow the Tigers will be on the road. They will stay in California. They'll just shift to Oakland. It's Tarek Skubal going to get set to take on the Oakland A's. 93, nowhere close on a 4-seam. And what I do like about Jackson Merrill, although he's gotten big in this game, which is unlike him, I know he's a rookie, but he stays within his zone. He finds the pitches that he likes, and he's very selective. He's got a good, keen, young eye. And that's just not typical of players of his age. Broken bat, right to keep. Torkelson toss over, one up, one down in the bottom 7th. John here with you on the call. It is the Tigers and the Padres. I will have full game coverage with you alongside the play-by-play via the reporter. I hope a sports guy once this is all done. And then I think toward the Saturday side, I will get everything uploaded as far as football picks. Friday will be a little bit of a recoup day as far as the voice, but we'll get the notes, picks, everything all squared away, and then I'll get that all settled out for Saturday, and then Sunday will be the type-ups per usual. Unless I'm spending some time with the missus, I'll be in front of the computer typing some of that stuff and seeing what happens in week 1. And try to do that a little bit earlier because the Lions play Sunday Night Football against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. And I think Stafford's going to get his big reception from the Detroit fans because it's not a playoff. So Luis Diaz will get set to check in against Kenta Maeda. 2-0 is the count leverage. Maeda about to throw his 16th pitch, bullpen relief. Casey Mize was not bad today, but he did not get any help. Gave up just 3 runs. 2 shots. Profar with a solo, and Bogarts with a 2-run wall scraper in the left field side. That is the difference in this game. Tanner Scott beginning to warm for Mike Schilt. Profar. This is scorched right to Ibanez, and I don't think he's going to have a play. Did he get him? That'll be 2 times I got wrong in this play-by-play. My apologies. I'm usually pretty good on that. Might be the cough medicine. Did he actually get that, Andy Ibanez? He got scorched. He dove it down toward shortstop and then make the gun over. And Torkelson, I wasn't even sure if he actually caught the ball. He played that off a bounce. Beautifully done from the mates at short and first. And Torkelson, that was bounced from Ibanez. I thought he had no business getting on that baseball. Actually made the play. That's 2 mistakes I made here. It's amateur hour here on this side. I apologize. Jackson McCoy. We'll get all this stuff done before the playoffs and then the hockey season starts. I promise you. Have some fun today. I still want to be professional, but my goodness, I did not expect Torkelson to be able to catch that ball and Ibanez make that play because he did kind of double pump before he threw over. I didn't think there would be any way for him to get profile. So 1-1 against McCoy. Might end to pitch number 20. That was a pretty good sweeper there. Just missed high and inside. 2-1 against Jackson. Before we turn this lineup back over to Luis Rise. It's just fun to watch him take some hacks at the bat rack. 27-year-old will be up next. Good sweeper there for Kenta. I know Kenta did not have the start that he wanted this season. He did not have the numbers in totality, but out of the bullpen, and I kind of thought this going into it, especially from the start of the season. I know people weren't saying it, and I don't want to say I jumped out ahead of time. I think Kenta Maeda would be good in long relief in the sense of just giving you a different look in the mix of pitches, and I think that's where he should be. Give him multiple innings, 6 or 7 or 7-8, 5-6, kind of mix that in there. And a sweeper makes McCoy look silly. And Maeda does his job. My, oh boy. Still 3-0. Let's go to the 8th.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own the Buick. Exceptional by design. GM employees with current eligible GM leads get this ultra-low mileage lease on this 2024 used Avis Preferred for $239 per month.
All year long, a visual offer by the Detroit Tigers.
75 years, America has thrived through every rise and fall. We've lived through triumphs and turmoil, witnessed every advance, and survived every setback. Through surety and uncertainty, America has stood the test of time by standing by our beliefs, our values, and our customers. America, 175 years strong.
Still 3-0. Padres leading the Tigers here in the 8th inning. Meadows scheduled to lead off. He's on the mound once again. Tanner Scott. It's his third appearance of this 3-game series.
So Tanner Scott, his third appearance in this series over the 3 games. 61 and 2/3 innings, 146 ERA, strikeout rate about 29%, walk rate of just 12. Opponent's OPS batting a measly 497, 4 appearances in the last 5 days. He is a 2-pitch pitcher, but he's a very good one. Shallow left field, Jurickson Profar of 1 pitch, and Parker Meadows is done as we flip this over to the top of the order with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Tigers already lost the opener in this series 3-0 a couple of days ago, and right now they're down 3-0 in this game against the Padres as they have 5 outs left to work with to score at least 3 runs. Matt Vierling will get things going again as the Tigers will get back to the top of their order. And they could be shut out again twice by the same score of 3-0. And against, really, this game might be the only chance they didn't have opportunities. Tigers did have opportunities in that game where they were shut out first 3-0. Vierling will roll this one over. Good toss, McCoy Cronenworth. That was beautifully done in one motion, and that was a good toss. And Tanner Scott, 2 outs on 3 pitches, and Ibanez is the last hope in the top of the 8th, excuse me. We'll have one more look probably for the Padres here. I think it'll be done. I don't think they're going to have to even worry about the bottom 9 the way that this one's been going. It was a clinic for Martin Perez. A little bit disappointing because his numbers weren't very good coming into it. 99 on a 4-seam does not get the call. That was awfully close. It looked like it was in the zone. Ibanez will take it. 1-0. John Under with you on the call today. I appreciate you guys being in as Ibanez will follow this one straight back. So Ricky Vanasco, I have not seen him yet in a Tigers uniform. Looks like he might get the 9th. It'll be something interesting for me to look for and be able to show to all of you guys and kind of give you my thoughts for what he might do on the mound. First Tigers appearance. He had some time with the Dodgers. That's what Jason Benetti is bringing in. So this would be his first big league appearance with Detroit. And Ibanez is Tanner Scott to brush off and get settled back on the mound. 1-1 is the count leverage against him. 1 for 3 with a single. Not a lot of hits to speak of. Ibanez. That was a jumping play for Xander Bogaerts at second, but just out of the reach of Ibanez as his second single of the ball game. Riley Greene now will be the last hope in the top of the 8th as the Tigers want to continue to extend this inning. That was laced right back to Tanner Scott. He had to duck to get out of the way there real quick. And then Xander Bogaerts makes a jumping effort. Wasn't too bad of an effort there. It just goes into center field where Merrill played off the hop. Riley Greene. See what he can do here. Now, if you're Tanner Scott, you don't have to mess around with Riley Greene all that much because for Justyn-Henry Malloy, this is me. I think I'd rather just go after him because Riley Greene is someone that can absolutely hurt you. You don't want to walk and have the potential in a 3-3 game. I get that. But Riley Greene is the one guy that I wouldn't mess around with in the Tigers lineup. For Malloy, I think Scott could dot him up pretty easily. Over the last couple games that I've seen him play, I have not been impressed in the least. I know it's a rookie, and 24-year-old's got a lot of work to do. Only 49 games into his tenure. I just don't think he's ready for this against Tanner Scott. That's just me. 2-1. Greene have the leverage against Tanner. That was a 98 just outside. He's got the sweat on immediately here. It's about 90 degrees on the side of the game time. The sun has gone down. Huge cut there for Greene at 98, followed straight back amongst the fans. They could dose and dose here. How many more opportunities are the Tigers going to get? We talked about that a little bit in the 7th, a little bit in the 8th now. We'll see what happens here. Tanner Scott pretty much, once he opens that door, he gets in there, he closes it, lock and key. That is a dot for Tanner Scott. See you later. Riley Greene punches out. And now we'll go to the bottom 8th. He does the job once again. 3 straight nights.
And the potential to take you anywhere. Or GM employees with the current eligible lease can get this Silverado for around $319 a month. Chevy drives the Motor City to get that drive.
It's so much better out there. Isn't it easier if you can find what you want all in one place?
So I'll tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, the one good thing for me is this game's probably going to end just shortly after the 2-hour mark. And that's going to keep the voice and everything else feeling good. I appreciate Nordic jumping in for most of this game. Again, my question to you, there's 2 votes, sir. The Padres a legit playoff threat. Both the votes say yes. I imagine it was going to stay that way. I wanted to take a look at it. Again, I'll equate it to this. I did that a little bit last year when the Tigers went on that Canadian road trip against the Flames, the Canucks, the Oilers, kind of see what they would do. They were able to get a win against Calgary, but then they lost in back-to-back days against the Canucks and Edmonton. Why do I equate that with the Tigers? Because Tigers are in the middle of a playoff push right now, but they needed to win some games. They couldn't afford to get swept. I think that might be exactly what happens right now. And I am almost getting my box score all the way done in the sense of this. Just a little bit of preparedness ahead. So how about this for Luis Arise, and courtesy of Jason Minetti and Bally Sports Detroit? If Arise can get through this without a strikeout, it'll be 100 plate appearances in which he has not struck out in a row. That's how good he is. Let's go bottom 8. 3-0. Ricky Vanasco is on the mound. He pitched a couple times with the Dodgers this year. Robert Suarez, their closer, he is absolutely gross. And he might even be better than Tanner Scott, which is hard to believe. I can't believe I even said that out of my mouth. I don't know if I believe that. But he's getting ready to close. Luis Arise, 2-1. He's just not phased about anything. We made the Tony Gwynn comparison at the bottom of the first. I think it's apropos there for Arise. He's already got a single, 94. So 1 for 4 today for Luis Arise, but it's a 3-0 lead. That's what counts for the Pods. And Vanasco does a good job. First out, bottom 8. He's got to keep the score line right where it is because the Tigers are going to score any runs. They're going to have to do so against one of the best closers in all of baseball. And that's just not very likely here at this point. Padres got 2 more chances here, most likely, unless the Tigers score 3 in the next part of the top of the inning. But we'll see what Vanasco can do and when he features. 4 pitches into his day. Tatis. That looked like a floating slider. He did not get the call. That was a strike, but that looked almost out of his hands. I can't say ephus because it was 86, but that looked like it had a confusing grip that could have been smashed. Ibanez over to Torkelson. Tatis is turned away. Tatis been pretty quiet. Tatis was the winning run the other day for the Padres, but Tatis and Luis Arise have been quiet. It's just been Profar with a solo shot in the first and Bogaerts with a 2-run tank in the second. Those have been all the runs. It's been a quick moving game nonetheless. So Profar might be the last bat of the game here for San Diego. Open the scoring in the bottom of the first. After Tatis hit into a double play, otherwise it could be a 5-0 game. But as it stands, 3-0. If the Tigers do hold, technically they have a shot, but you never know. Robert Suarez, I think that's pretty much done too. Robert Suarez and Tanner Scott, talking about some of those guys in the mix of the Kansas City Royals back in the day in their bullpen. Kelvin Herrera, Holland, Wade Davis. I mean, you kind of have some of that same line alongside Suarez and Scott and Jason Adam, right? It doesn't really change much. Right to Keefe. Short toss over to Torkelson. Last chance for the Tigers. They're going to have to do it against Suarez. We'll go to the ninth. So I'll tell you one thing, pace of the game's been good. I'm not angry about any of that right now. We had a baseball game in probably less than 2 hours and 10 minutes. I'm feeling good on that side. Voice and everything else feels good. I'm glad we got this, got some practice back in. It's been a good night. It's good to get back in the driver's seat. I really, it's always fun to work with Alvin Nava, and I will never not take the opportunity to jump at that when we get a chance to. I really miss working with Cooper Hopkins. I know we had a chance to cover that game with the Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks in Game 1 of that first round, and that was awesome. But I hope we get a chance to cover some games quite soon because I do miss that. And the trip and all that too. I am looking forward to that if it all gets squared away. Pretty sure 90% is going to be done. I'm just waiting for the tickets and everything else to get finalized. We are underway, just underway in the second half. The Chiefs now have taken a 20-10 lead over the Ravens. Patrick Mahomes has not thrown for a touchdown. He's 12 of 18 with 188 interception.
Getting ready for Tigers Live postgame. Each team, San Diego tonight, has 6 hits, with 2 of the Padres hits left the yard. That was early on in the second start for Casey Mize after being on the shelf for 2 months.
Isaiah Pacheco and Xavier Worthy have the touchdowns. A 21-yard rushing TD for the Chiefs is the latest, as the Ravens now have the ball down 10 on the road at Arrowhead to open the NFL season.
Once again, Suarez into the ball game. The Padres bullpen has a grand total of 31 saves to his name.
30 runs, third most in the National League, fourth in the majors to go along with a.
See what the Tigers can do. Robert Suarez now trying to get his 32nd save. This is against Justyn-Henry Malloy. And that's a good way for the youngster, the 24-year-old, to start it. It's a first pitch fastball, and it's a single in the left field as Profar. You'll have to play that one off the bounce. So now I think we'll start to see some changes in the Tigers' order with some bats off the bench as Suarez looks to get the job done here. Again, scoring summary, not much to speak of. Profar with a homer, and then right after a double play from Tatis, kept it 1-0. Then Bogart's 2-run shot screwed Jake Cronenworth 3-0. Got it 3:57 to left the wall scraper. If the wall's about 350, Bogart's hit a 357, just got it over as they go in between the lineup card for Jace Young. Going to go ahead and take the bat in the place of Jake Rogers in the 5th spot of the order. Now, Jace does not have a home run yet this season, just 192, 3 RBI, 23-year-old, the older brother of the younger brother of Josh Young, I should say, for the Texas Rangers World Series champion. Josh was there to watch Jace play against the White Sox because after that series was done, that was the next opponent for Texas. 0-1. Suarez does get a friendly call as Jace up against it here. Suarez trying to get his 25th save of the year. 0-1 pitch as he gets ahead on a changeup. This one spiked in the dirt. The changeup at 91. So his fastball explodes at about 101, the changeup at 91. So very, very fast changeup. Maybe some guys' old school fastball back in the day, and that is no joke. Jake's 100 miles an hour, very low, 2-1. Crowd getting a little restless, although they have a 3-run lead. Trevor Hoffman, he is one of Mr. Padre alongside Tony Gwynn for me. You got Tony Gwynn and Trevor Hoffman, that's immediately who I think of for the Padres. Big swing and a miss late on a fastball. It was in the right part of the zone, but he got overmatched there, did Jakes. Make it 2-2. Spencer Torkelson would be next unless they want to switch him too. They got Zach McKinstry, Trey Sweeney, a couple other lefties. 2-2 pitch against Suarez. 100 miles an hour. And Jace has the willpower to lay off. That is good for the young hitter. I've seen the Tigers do that a couple times, couple games, in which the Padres offer at pitches that are nowhere close. And for Torkelson, if he gets up here, he's got to swing early in the sense of get ready, because he gets blown away by fastballs about 93, and this guy goes about 101. So you got to be ready to swing if it's in the zone. Full count for Jace. What's he going to do here? Runner at first. Jace winning on the 3-2. Takes the walk. And the Tigers might have something going here in the top of the ninth. They've had nothing going all day. They've had runners in the first, second, and third. Couldn't get anybody going, but since the first, second, and third, it has been crickets here. And now Spencer Torkelson could be the ignition to this pilot light, and they really need it right now. Top 9, no outs, runners on first and second. Jace Young off the bench draws the walk. Justyn-Henry Malloy gets a single. Torkelson cannot hit to a double play here. He better strike out. 100, not close. Puts Diaz out of the crouch. 1-0 against Spencer Torkelson. And the radar's starting to perk up a little bit for me to see whether or not Spencer Torkelson can do the damn job. This will bring out the Padres as far as the pitching coach. It's been 3 days in a row here for Suarez to try to get this one done. Brendan Hanafy warming up just in case for the Tigers. They would love to see this be a 3-3 game going on the bottom ninth. Better yet, they want the lead, but they need at least 3 to get this one tied. They do have runners in first and second with nobody out. Suarez, 8 pitches, trying to get his 25th save. Tigers making it difficult. Henry Malloy gets a single. Jace Young walks. That's how we start the ninth. Spencer Torkelson digs back in after the meeting. 1-0 count leverage. What's Spencer going to do here? What's Suarez going to go with? It's either fastball changeup, probably. Fastball outside. 2-0 now for Spencer Torkelson. As the gears start to grind, the vice grip's going to get a little tighter here if Suarez doesn't start to find the zone. The Torkelson take. 2-0. Uppercut swing, and he gets underneath it, and he breaks his bat in disgust. It's right to Bogarts. It is 1 out in the top 9. Tigers still have 2 on. Torkelson got a little too big there. He went for the hero swing, and he got it underneath his bat. He slammed that one in disgust, and I feel the same way for him as a Tigers fan, because you just want to make contact with the baseball. I understand, if it's down to 2 outs, you might go for that swing, but not with nothing. Cole Keith. 99. That was a good cut for Keith, but he'll follow it straight back. That's the approach I like to see. Bat on ball. He was ready for the 99. Suarez. Pitch number 12, trying to get his 25th save. He's got runners at first and second. Keith. 99, spits on it up high, make it 1-1. Tarek Skubal's ERA is 2.51. That is second in the major leagues. He's hunting for Cy Young. You'll get the chance to watch him tomorrow. I'm going to look forward to that against the Oakland Athletics. Feel you can do some damage. What are the Tigers doing now? They need a win. 100. Wow, what a take from Colt Keith. Make it 2-1. That was awfully close. And Chris Sale was the one that just pulled ahead of Tarek Skubal. He's had a resurgence here for Atlanta. Again, you go to Atlanta, they can fix you. 247, Tarek Skubal 251. 2-1. Colt Keith against Suarez. Big cut at 100. And he was trying to get all bat on ball there. He wasn't going for the huge swing. He stayed with it. 2-2. If Colt Keith punches out here, I'm not going to be angry about the first two pitches that he took a swing at, because honestly, he looked like he was on those. He wasn't overmatched. Suarez will step off. Colt Keith will oblige as the crowd starts to get in this. We haven't heard the crowd that much all day. They're kind of just expecting to go ahead and take care of the Tigers, as they should. Suarez is one of the best. He shakes off Elias first time. Now I think he'll get set for a sign up a 2-2. And Keith does not offer at a hundo. It's a full count. This looks like what we saw from Jace Young, batting 5th in the order. Young Tigers that have very good approaches right now, either swing and a miss or whatever. He's worked this count. Spiked into the dirt. Bases loaded with Tigers. And it'll bring up Kerry Carpenter. And things are really going to start to get interesting now. One swing could give the Tigers the lead. I know what Kerry Carpenter is going to have on his mind. I think he needs to have the same approach of Jace and from what we just saw from Colt Keith. But 2 for 7 with a grand slam. The only thing I ask for Kerry is hit it hard. You get into a double play, that's going to happen. You can't get it off the end of the bat. Top 9, bases juiced, 1 out. Tigers down 3-0. And ball 1 on a changeup at 92. And Kerry Carpenter trying to work his way into the driver's seat. Wasn't a lot going on for the Tigers now, but they're going to make the end of this game interesting, no doubt about it. Bases loaded. 1 out. Kerry Carpenter, big swing at 101. And Suarez able to go ahead and get a strike. 101 miles an hour. The ratio not very good. 11 balls, 7 strikes. 1-1. Bases juice. Tigers need to get 1 win here to salvage something in this series. They don't want to get shut out 2 times 3-0 or lose the game outright. Kerry Carpenter, he can absolutely unleash 1-1 pitch. 101 again. This one in the zone, followed straight back at 1-2. This one was up high toward the 200 part, top right side of the zone, where Kerry Carpenter has trouble getting to it. Anything up and in, he kills. Anything up and away, he has a tough time with. We're down and away. That's probably where Suarez will go, up and away or down and away on a changeup. 101, see you later. Spun like a turnstile, and Suarez 1 strike away now from essentially 1 strikeout away or 1 anything else from closing out the save here for the Padres. Bases are juiced with 2 outs. So it was Ryan Kreidler until Kerry Carpenter got a couple of bats. Parker Meadows, lefty-righty, Parker Meadows is the last hope for Detroit. 102 now, as this one is outside. The young Tigers here have had some good approaches. Some of the elder statesmen that have made better looks at it. That's interesting, but that's the one good news you take out of it, even if they end up losing it. 1-0. 101. Tested him, and Parker Meadows got dusted. 1-1. The crowd's starting to get to their feet right now. Tigers did make this interesting, but I think it might be did more so than anything else in past tense. 1-1. Suarez gets a sign from Diaz. 102. Make it 2-1. Nothing wrong with the velocity, and I'm sorry for the slight chuckle, but this is almost like Aroldis Chapman with the right-handed version, but 5 pitches, but he's just going after it with fastballs. That's what he wants to do. Bases still juiced. Temperament looks good. 101 outside with no place to put him. 3-1 now. Again, a walk only scores 1 run here, but still excellent work for Parker Meadows. What do you do here? Do you take, or do you continue to just keep your approach? That's the question mark on my mind. 3-1. Good cut for Parker. That was in the zone at 100. And now everybody going to be off at the pitch. Full count, 2 outs, bases loaded, top 9. Tigers down 3-0. At least you can say the end was exciting. But Suarez trying to get save number 25. It's the moment. Everybody's standing, clapping, waving the towels. Big swing. Parker toward the triple bar. It's gone! Parker Meadows with a grand slam. Oh my goodness. Tigers have the lead. Parker Meadows. Unbelievable. Grand slam for Parker Meadows. And the pizzas will be abound. The Tigers trying to get something. And they did it with 2 outs. Top 9 with the bases loaded. This is absolutely unbelievable. I did not feel that it was going to happen. But what an effort from the youngsters. From Henry Malloy. From Jace Young. And now Parker Meadows. 4-3 Tigers. And now I'm really happy he ended up doing this game. The save is blown for Suarez. Schilt was going for it to try to close it out. Parker Meadows says, I have other ideas. A huge cut. This one goes past Profar. We go to break. They make a pitching change. My, oh my, this game has changed. Wow. Parker Meadows with a grand slam has given the Tigers a lead. And now Schilt has to go ahead and make the pitching change. It'll bring up Estrada. Jeremiah Estrada will now try to get the last out in the 9th. The Tigers were down to their last out, bases loaded, and Parker Meadows erupts on a fastball and finished it off. And at least that will force the Padres to go to their final bats in the bottom of the 9th. Tigers have 1 more out to play with. And boy, was I glad I was premature as far as the box score. So Suarez tries to get the 25th save. Parker Meadows gets a grand slam and makes it a 4-3 ball game in the top of the 9th. This is absolutely huge because you don't want to get swept in the series, and you can keep this within 5. Get something, and then you got Tarek Skubal tomorrow where you should get a win against Oakland. If you're just joining us, we got a brand new ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Parker Meadows with a grand slam. Vierling will lace this one toward Tatis. He's out. Estrada gets the job done after 2 pitches. Suarez blows the save. The bases were loaded. And the top of the 9th with 2 outs. The Parker Meadows takes a 101-mile-an-hour fastball the other way to left field. And if the Tigers have the lead, we go bottom 9. It's 4-3 Detroit.
Today at the Home Depot, get up to $1,500 off select appliances like Whirlpool at the lowest prices guaranteed. Bring home simple solutions that make caring for your family a little easier. Shop Labor Day savings on Whirlpool appliances at the Home Depot.
Hey, thanks for the backup.
Before the fall, before the new routine, before the exam, the test. The all clear and aspirational. You need confidence, and for 85 years, Michigan's trusted Blue Cross to be there, ready to help.
Parker Meadows got on the plane today, on the road trip. Earlier on the road trip with a Patriots jersey on.
Well, this game's not over. Tigers' win probability was probably less than 1% as they show that off the fan graph. And now Parker Meadows had put this one back up to about 80% with this grand slam that has given the Tigers the lead. They were down 3-0. Robert Suarez was on the mound. You figured that one's going to be church after Tanner Scott. You had a couple of walks from Keith and Young. You had a first pitch hit from Justyn-Henry Malloy. And Parker Meadows takes a 101 fastball, serves it to left field past Profar, and it's a grand slam. And now Tyler Holton has a chance to get the save. And I don't care who is in the Padres part of the lineup. Make no mistake about it. It's Machado, Cronenworth, and Bogarts, 4, 5, 6. Best of the best. But Tyler Holton, one of the very best as well. I would expect him to get this save. Tyler Holton snared right to Spencer Torkelson, and the first out of the bottom of the ninth. It was, jaws of defeat, somehow finding the victory. You split that one all the way across, and that was maybe what you see. Donovan Solano now will go ahead and get the side of the handedness matchup for Jake Cronenworth. We'll have to come back and first, should the Padres find a way to tie this one up at least, he'd be the defensive replacement at the one bag if he gets it. So this game has changed. Parker Meadows, 101 mile an hour, tanked toward left field for a grand slam. At the bases loaded, couple walks, hit for Henry Malloy. Tigers really didn't have anything going with the exception of the first, second, and third. They had runners on the base pass. They just couldn't find a way to get anybody across, but can never say that Parker Meadows isn't clutch in the sense of it. What you saw last year and what you saw now, considering what the way the Tigers have played in the series, you feel like they could have won a couple of games. Just to have them come back and get this one, should they do it with 2 more outs, would feel great because at least you get back to 5 games. You tie there with Seattle. You pull ahead because of the tiebreaker. You have a shot at this thing. You still got 6 more games against Baltimore, though. Holton. He kind of short-armed that changeup. We'll make it 1-2. Donovan Solano does not have a ton of home run power, but he's kind of like Luis Arias, able to get bat on ball skills. Not quite to that extent, but you expect him to put it in play. 85. Who wants this? Kerry Carpenter will step in, make the play. Parker Meadows. He had a mix in there between Colt Keith. 2 away. Xander Bogaerts. One last stance here for the Padres. Unbelievable that I'm saying this, but that is why you play the game all through 27 outs. And I'm going to be one happy camper here for Detroit as far as local summer and doing this one to be able to catch a moment that I have not seen in a long time. The last time we did one was Parker Meadows making a ridiculous catch against the Seattle Mariners in a win. And now you have a sense for the Tigers and Parker Meadows hitting a grand slam. I don't know what it is as far as me doing broadcasts the last couple of times with Detroit and Parker Meadows, but happy on that side. Marlo Guzman says, gotta love the Padres. Yeah, you Don't feel very good by considering where this game is right now, but it only takes one swing from Bogarts, who already has a 2-run tank. Tyler Holton is one of the best that the Tigers have as far as arms that they've thrown out there. Anybody in the bullpen has been good, but to be able to possibly take a victory from the jaws of defeat would be something they need because they played probably too well to get swept. Absolutely don't want to have Jackson Merrill come up next. You got to get this done now. 2-1. Tyler Holton trying to finish the job. Strike. 4-seam. 2-2 at 94 miles an hour. 5 seconds to go on the pitch clock. Bogarts digs in as the last hope. Here comes the pitch. This is laced for a single Pascal Keith, and we're not done yet. It is going to bring up Jackson Merrill. And for all the times we talked about him in the last couple of games here, he can absolutely win it with the Padres with one swing. And why? He loves to ambush the first pitch. Tyler Holton's got to know this at this point. If you throw a 95-mile-an-hour cookie, it's going to be 5-4 Padres. It's going to be a walk-off homer. I can guarantee you that. I'm not trying to be ahead of it. You got to make sure you locate this. Merrill's 0 for 3. That means he's due. Big cut on a sweeper. That one caught the middle, but he was looking for a fastball swing. Got out in front of it. He was trying to absolutely kill that thing. That's what we said. 0-1. Tyler Holton, 13 pitches into his day. He's trying to get the save for the Tigers after Suarez blew the grand slam. 97. Popped up. Who wants it? Parker Meadows makes the catch, and the Tigers come all the way back with a grand slam, and they avoid this sweep. They win this one 4-3. There'll be a happy bunch of Tigers going into Oakland tomorrow when Tarek Skubal goes back in the mound, and they try to get this back within 4. What a ball game. I'm glad I did this for the hometown team. Parker Meadows, the hero. Tigers win. Avoid the sweep, and we'll see you guys very soon. Peace, everybody. You take care. Raymond said, I was looking. The channel that came across you also says, go Dodgers. Yeah, I don't blame you on that side. The 50-50 watch for Shohei Ohtani is absolutely outrageous. He's going to get it. He's probably going to get MVP on that side for National League. And maybe you can talk about MVP for Aaron Judge in the AL, maybe Bobby Witt. So, yeah, that's definitely going to help the Dodgers. So you're happy. I'm happy as well for the hometown team. I appreciate you joining in, Raymond, or the end of it. That was a hell of an ending. And we'll talk soon, guys. Tigers win 4-3. And yes, I said it. It happened.
Look at this.